Parliament representatives from Kasese district have requested government to come up with affirmative programs for Kasese district after the attack that happened in Mpondwe Lubhiriha High School, where terrorists butchered students and other community members. Speaking to Church of Uganda Family TV, Atkins Katusabe, the Member of Parliament representing Bukonzo West, pointed out that security should focus on their primary duty to keep law and order and protect its citizens' lives and property.
Now, when a situation happens like it happened, a tragedy, massacre, or foreign attack, external attack, then it means the law has broken down, the order has also broken down, and there is no law and order to keep by police. It's the constitutional duty of the UPDF to step in and restore order and the law.
Ferigo Kambale, the Kasese municipality Member of Parliament, added that the families of the deceased are still terrified and in shock because of the inhuman manner in which they lost their loved ones' lives, and call on government to provide with immediate effect guidance and counselling services to the mourning families, as well as spiritual guidance to give hope and comfort to these families.
The kind of death that our girls and our people went through, to me, was an abnormal death, because the death involved the butchering, involved the slaughtering humanity like gods, involved a lot of bloodshed, because every student, you could find a student surrounded by a pool of blood.
Ferigo says there is no way cross-border trade can be abolished because the economy must be able to move forward in all circumstances, but rather calls upon security forces and government to tighten their grip security-wise.
Cross-border trade has to continue, and by effecting cross-border trade, movements can't be curtailed. However, we are calling upon intelligence to be vigilant. Since our forces are already in Congo, that means the intelligence network should also be in Congo to understand those movements. The movements of good people, the movements can be used by bad people.
The members of parliament both agree that there has been thin deployment in Kasese and request security forces and government to strengthen deployment in the area, pointing out that the terrorists took more than an hour without interruption from the forces. They call upon government to find all possible ways to seal the gaps in security.
So I think that should have sent a signal to our security forces. We're not safe. That community and the entire resort region was not safe. So time comes where you have to say enough is enough. As a community, we've gone through a lot of disasters. Please help the community of Kasese to tell a better story. We're asking the government to provide an affirmative program. You can forget everything else that I gave in this interview. Please, I'm asking you, Mr. President,
that the government is now on alert. They must have analyzed the gaps, and the good thing is that the president is an expert on issues of security. He's a very good at security issues. I trust his capability, and therefore the forces under him, I have a belief that they have already been instructed technically on how to handle these challenging issues.
Katusabe also points out that these knee-jerk interventions that government is carrying out are not the solution, but rather strong policies to strengthen security are urgently needed around the area of Kasese, since this is not the first time such attacks are happening in this area, and requests government to provide resources and help the community of Kasese with affirmative programs, pointing out that currently the significant impact of government programs only stops at places near Kasese but never gets to Kasese.
We want a sustainable means, because you recognize that as people coming from Kasese community, that was not the first time. We had one in 96. 9 of our community leaders, LC Warrens, martyred in cold blood. the stomachs were ripped, and internal organs thrown in their faces. The whole world was in a shock. We had one in Kichomba where over 80 students were murdered, burned to ashes. We had another attack, ADF attack, in St. John's Seminary in Kibarara. We had another attack in Taroko. Literally the entire Rwenzori region.
Kasese MP Ferigo, giving a detailed description of what is in Kasese now, goes ahead to say the families are still mourning and Kasese in general is still in a somber mood, and it will take time for the massacre to be forgotten and the bereaved families to get back to normal.